Welcome back, everybody, to the 5th round of the season. And we are back in qualifying at Zandvoort this time out. Where we have just begun the qualifying session, and we'll see who will be the first person to start their qualifying lap. I'm pretty sure it will be Fabio Gallimini in the AM class. Currently not really up there in the standings, but still has shown a very good drive throughout this season. Last time out in Valencia, finishing 3rd. And we'll see what he's able to do today as he just about starts his lap, and we can even go on board with the Ferrari. And a pretty tidy lap so far, just maybe 1 or 2 minor mistakes, but trying to maximize the amount of track used. And a very nice flowing circuit, though does very much destroy your front tires with how much you have to put strain on them with different elevation changes and all of that as he comes through the chicane now. And up towards what I think is one of the hardest corners. And if you get it wrong, then your next lap is also very much ruined. Here, taking a lot of the exit curb. And a job well done as he comes across the line now. And it will be the first lap to be set on the board of 136.1. Miguel Cesaro, and he's going to try and beat that. And he won't. A 36.2 is the best that he can do. Charlie Kent, invalid lap for him. Here comes Abe Santander. He's on an out lap. And Declan Bowler will be the first pro to cross the line. Just a little second as he does. A 38.3 is the best that he can do. So nobody yet been able to beat Fabio Gallimini, even the pros. As Sir Pluk comes across the line. He's only 3rd. David Dvorak puts us up into 5th place. Will Verunen up into 5th as well. Number 16 of Bimo Aria. He's going to come across the line. He's going to set an invalid lap. Anthony Camacho up into 8th. Here is Tino Capera. A very good driver. Sadly, it's an invalid lap for him. Here comes Dries Verhulst trying to beat Fabio Gallimini. It's just not happening. And this is going to be one of those times when we're going to have a possible AM driver on pole position. Now, that would be quite something. As Chris Rise is also going to try and get close to him, but it's not going to happen. He's only 7th. As Fabio Gallimini comes across the line yet again, it's not going to be an improvement for him. It's going to be a 36.2 with Charlie Kent finally on a proper lap. And this is the man who won in Valencia. And he's going to try and prove himself again. And he's only up into 3rd place. Well, Abe for sure has to beat. No, he doesn't. What is going on with everybody? Declan Bowler, a 10th up on his time. It's not a great improvement. Sir Pluk comes across the line now as well. A 36.552. Not an improvement. David Dvorak also 6/10ths down. Will Verunen, though, one of the championship battle rivals. 5/10ths up. Not enough to get himself ahead of his closest rivals. As Bimo Aria comes across the line only up into 13th. Tina Capera. It's going to be a valid lap, but only good for 8th. The Streets for Hulse comes across the line, and he's going to have a bad time as well. And Mohammed Bintang invalid. So what is going on? I wonder. It's Chris Fries coming through the final corner now. Can he get this right? And he's 6/10 up on his time. This will be a pretty good improvement up into 8th place. Here comes Fabio Gallimini, also up on his time at 1:35.9. For the man in the Ferrari. As Charlie Kent invalidates his lap in the final corner. Abe Santama, well, he's definitely going to take P1 here. If he doesn't, it'll be quite embarrassing for him. At 35.5. Actually, only a couple tenths quicker than Fabio Gallimini. Usually he dominates by over a second. As Declan Battle improves by a lot, up into 11th place. Sir Plug up into 3rd. David Dworak also a 7/10 up on his time. Comes across the line up into 10th place ahead of Tino Capera and Declan Bowler. As behind we have Anthony Camacho, nearly a whole second up on his time. As he tries to get ahead of Declan Bowler, and he gets ahead of Tino Capera and David Dworak as well. As you got Tino Capera gets back ahead of David Dworak. And Dries Verhulst 3/10 up on his time. That's going to be a good chunk of improvement at 36.3. Ahmed Bintang up with his first flying lap into 13th place. I do wonder what has gone on with Fabio Gallimini to cause him to have this humongous pace gain. Comes across the line. It's not going to be an improvement, but actually it is an improvement at 35.930. As we can have a look at Declan Bowler, who is up on his time, and he crucially needs to be up on his time as he's only got a 10th to Mohammed Bintang, and he is in the pros. But will 4/10 up be enough? Indeed it is. We've got Benjamin Koo not up on his time either. A very weird start to this qualifying session. It is an optimum track. It is a bit hotter than most people would expect. It's not too hot. Tino Capera 5 seconds down on his time. Bimaria invalidated. Mohammed Bintang is 2/10 up as he rounds the final corner towards what would be the DRS detection line in Formula 1. Obviously, GT3 is not having any DRS. There's David Dworak, invalidate time. Charlie Kent as well. And Fabio Gallimini trying to go for pole position to go ahead of Abe Santama. As he was 3/10 up, and that is all he would need to put himself up ahead of Abe Santama onto pole position at 35.6 is the best that he can do. And that is a huge chunk of improvement. And I'm just going to check what is like. I mean, I know what a quick time around Zandvoort is. I just want to double check though, as Abe continues to try and better his time. Now if we go to Zandvoort, the best time we have set on there is a 34.5 by Abe, a 35.6 by Sird, 35.8 by Miguel Cesarum. Yes, Sir Plug yet again an invalid lap. Got Bima Aria 6/10 up. And this is the strangest situation ever. David Dworak not up. we have never had an AM driver who has really not shown too much potential be this super quick on one singular track. It's Charlie Kent. It was an improvement for him. Abe only a 10th up on his time, so still might be under pressure from Fabio Gallimini. And you've got Dries Verhaals coming across the line and a lot more people. And most of them not improving on their times or not even setting a valid time, as Miguel Estezaren going to try and get ahead of Serd Pluch up onto 3rd place. It's not going to be enough, but just a singular hundredth. Fabio Gallimini is going to start one of his laps as well. This is really, really peculiar. Never have we had this sort of situation go on. And it's fun to watch, nevertheless. There is supposed to be a higher chance of rain today. As we know, though, there probably won't be any rain at all. It's Charlie Kent. Going to be getting himself up into the 35s, which will put him onto the 2nd row if everything goes well here. And it does. Up into 3rd place ahead of Serd Pluch for now. Tino Capera returning back to the pits. Abe, an invalid time, even though he did improve. It'll be quite unfortunate for him. As Miguel Estezaren does not improve on his time. Anthony Camacho, an invalid time for him. Fabio Gallimini also not improving. Bima Aria, it's an invalid time. Got Serd Pluch, who is up on his time. He's going to try and get back up onto 3rd place, ahead of Charlie Kent. As Bima Aria seen going right off the track. Serd Pluch finally into the 35s, and he misses out on 3rd place by just 1/100th of a second. And it's David Dvorak not able to improve. Charlie Kent is 3/10ths up and might finally put himself up onto the front row ahead of Fabio Gallimini with a 35.647, a good lap time indeed. Dries Verhaals, not enough there. And Abe not improving on his time either. Declan Bowler, invalid time. It's Benjamin Koo. Sadly won't be enough to get himself ahead of Dries Verhaals. Still an improvement of 36.5. Miguel Estezaren 2/10ths up. Trying to put it ahead of Serd Pluch up onto the 2nd row, and does he do it? Yes, he does. 35.9, sorry. And he puts himself next to Fabio Gallimini for now. There's Fabio, not improving either. Neither does Anthony Camacho or Vil Verunen. Serd Pluch up into 2nd place, onto the front row, and demoting Fabio Gallimini down into 4th place. Chris Rice not up on his time. Dries Verhaals also not really up on his time, and unfortunate enough for him, as Serd Pluch is going to try and go for pole position time. as he is going purple. And Abe not really able to improve at all. And Fabio Gallimini still holding the purple middle sector. As Abe not able to improve, neither does Declan Bowler. Benjamin Koo 6/10 up into 5th place ahead of Miguel Cesarin. Charlie Kent going to start one of his final lap times here. As he comes across the line, Fabio Gallimini is 2nd down on his time. We've got Anthony Camacho and Will Verunen, who's 2/10 up. And it's not enough to get himself ahead of Dries Verhulst. Close enough. As Sir Plug losing out all of his time to get onto pole position, and he comes into the pits. And I'm pretty sure that might be it for his qualifying session, as Bimo Arya is not improving. He's 2/10 down. Chris Fry is also 9/10 down. Tino Capera, really unfortunate qualifying for him so far. He's down in 11th and not able to really do many valid laps, as Dries Verhulst stopped in the middle of the track, it looks like. Not sure what's really happened. Charlie Kent, I said it was going to be one of his final lap times. He did not improve, and he's down on his time, and it's not valid. As Abe is going to go for one of his final push laps as well. Andrew Priatko finally coming out of the pits. And remember, today is the 45-minute races. Or 45-minute race, not races. As Andrew Priatko starts his first and final push lap. Declan Bowler comes across the line. Most people doing their out laps. And we'll have one more lap to prove it all. As Tino Capera finally able to do one of his valid laps. It's enough to get himself ahead of Anthony Camacho, but only 10th place. Sir Plug also invalid, and he's going to have one more lap to go. Dries Verhulst, after stopping in the middle of the track, getting back going now. He's a 10th up on his time, 2/10 up. He ideally needs to get into the 35s here in order to even try and challenge for 6th and 7th, as 3 people go off at the same time and go back into the pits. And there is Dries Verhulst. He's not able to improve on his position, but 35.9 is the best that he could do so far. Charlie Kent down on his time, and well, we'll have one more lap. Abe Santama 2/10 up on his time. Finally, something that might be a bit more representative of his actual time. 2/10 up, and 35.1 is what he could manage. Andrew Priatko going to be a valid first lap for him, and he's in last. As Declan Bowler also crosses the line, he's in 13th place. And the final 2 people who will have their final chances to prove themselves in this race, Charlie Kent and Abe Santama, or this qualifying session, are Charlie Kent and Abe Santama. Of which Abe will be the final person to come across the line and maybe get into the 34s, but who knows. He really needs to do 2/10s, as he did grab all of the fastest sector times finally. And Charlie Kent not able to improve at all. He comes into the pits. And that's it for his qualifying session. Abe also not going to be able to improve. He's going to come right back into the pits. And that is qualifying over for the 5th race in this season. And we can just hope that those clouds that I'm seeing in 30 minutes might turn to rain. I just really hope that they do turn to rain, because otherwise this race might be just a tad bit boring. But that is indeed it for this qualifying session. The 5th round of the season, nearing towards the end. And we can have a look at the starting grid for the race. We've got Abe Santama on the front row, on pole position. No stranger to that. Oh, and next to him is Cyril Pleur, who has qualified with a 35.5, only 4 tenths away from Abe, so not such a dominant performance by Abe as you would imagine. Charlie Kent on the second row, starting alongside our pole sitter of Fabio Gallimini. Then comes Benjamin Koo and Miguel Estezaran on the third row. Dieter Hulst and Will Verunen on the fourth row. Chris Rise and Tino Capera, who's had a pretty low qualifying end in 10th. Here is Anthony Camacho and David Dvorak on the 6th row of the grid. Declan Bauer and Mohamed Bintang on the 7th. Bimo Aria and Andrew Priadko on the 8th row of the grid. And last but not least, without a single qualifying lap under his belt, is Camille Taha. So, we now just wait until we can get onto the grid. And see what sort of weather, what sort of strategy people input. Although there are no mandatory pit stops. It's a short 45-minute sprint before we kick off for the final one next week at Monza. And the temperatures not really dropping, neither did the weather. Nothing really has changed. So now is the time for any predictions that you may have of the race. I'm predicting that it's not really going to have too much action, although 45 minutes not really enough in order to make people spread apart too quickly. And well, I think unless Abe does something stupid and gets a drive-through or a stop and go for speeding in the pits, which you don't even have to do, I think Abe will most likely win the race, with Fabio Gallimini also a very big favorite to win this race as well. Time to yeet past both Pluk and Santama off the line. Wow, Charlie Kent. If you want to continue your win streaks, then that might be the way to do it. Just to, you know, maybe tactically push Abe into third or the other way around as well. Might be a good way indeed to try and secure a team championship, as Abe not really having any of his teammates join, which is Eric Giselle. So Biscuit Motorsport right now only 40 points away, 44 points away from Abe's team, or Abe's solo team. with the team of Dries Verhulst and Sir Plug in third. So they are pretty close in terms of positions. And a whole 1.5 minutes to go until the start of the formation lap. But yeah, very interesting to see Fabio Gallimini being so quick. Being so quick in qualifying so far. And man, he really showed how it's done, how it's supposed to be done. And it could just be a car and track combo that really does benefit the Ferrari and maybe even Fabio with his style of driving. But I'm pretty sure that he just practiced a hell of a lot more than the other drivers have. As finally we can get going. I'm just going to have a look at the BOP at Zandvoort. Yeah, okay, the Ferrari is a winner by far in terms of BOP on Zandvoort. The only car that gets close to it is the Lambo Evo 2. So Fabio having just a little advantage given by Kunos, but does not mean that it is just the car that has done the job, since, you know, there is people like Will Veronen and David Dvorak who are also driving the Ferrari and did not qualify that high up. So, any interesting facts about Zandvoort? Well, obviously located in the town of Zandvoort. You would not expect it. Also, a lot of sand dunes that is on the seaside. Also, this is the older version of the track, I'm pretty sure at least. Because it doesn't have any of the proper bankings like the F1 track does. Located in the Netherlands. Oh, I'm pretty sure everybody most likely would have known that. Also, the track was originally designed for motorcycle racing. Later on, redone to be used for car racing and all sorts of motorsports. And the first person to win on Zandvoort was actually one of the royals from Thailand. And this was before it was used in Formula 1, so just a couple of small little trivia about Zandvoort. I bet there's even more things about it that I don't know about. Let me have a look. Before they get going. Offers a variety of racing. Yeah, no way. Okay, these are really stupid facts. It's like just random things as they line up side by side. The first race actually held in 1939, before World War II, so it is a pre-World War II track, as Zandvoort is. Very sandy as well, as you can see, but enough talk about the history of Zandvoort. More racing. That's the windy, sandy dunes. Hopefully you won't be getting in the way of the drivers. As Abe looks on at the 5 red lights ahead, which will turn green alongside with the marshal waving his flag to indicate the start of this race. The 5th start of the 10th season of the sprint season, as Surplus continues to try and defend his position from Charlie Ken behind. Miguel Estezarren trying to go the long way around. No big thing going on in the background as Declan Baller, I think he was involved in something. No, behind them was Andrew Priatko, Tino Capera in a big accident with Bima Aria. I'm pretty sure I saw them colliding in the background. A little bit of damage done to Tino Capera's car up in the front. Declan Baller trying to make up positions on Anthony Camacho through the fast and twisty bits of Zandvoort. But he will have David Dvorak behind, also trying to go on the inside. But it's just not going to happen. Declan Baller now falling a little bit behind. David Dvorak absolutely sending it on the inside and going straight off the track, giving Declan Baller a little bit of a scare there. But no harm done apart from maybe just some brown underwear, as Dries Verhulst and Chris Rice both going off the track at the same moment, at the same time. And now Dries Verhulst nearly falling behind Anthony Camacho as Chris Rice and Anthony Camacho fight for 5th place, and Anthony Camacho pitting Chris Rice, and well, looks like he did leave him the space, or leave him the time to get back onto track, and he keeps that position. But they did both just lose out a huge amount as Will Veronin gets past Miguel Estezarren for 3rd place, the final podium position in the AMs. And if you are new here, the AMs are indicated by the red number plate, and the pros are indicated by the white number plates on the leaderboard. Dries Verhulst also trying to get past Miguel Estezarren as he's lost 1 place on the start. With Mohammed Bintang in the background fighting with Camille Taha, who's already made up 6 positions from 17th all the way up into 11th. Tino Capera might be suffering from a lot of damage as he is struggling to get past Andrew Priatko for 14th. But up here, Dries Verhulst is trying to get past Miguel Estezarren and put a whole car between him and Will Veronin, which will be detrimental for Miguel Estezarren, as he is pretty close in the championship with Will Veronin. Or at least that's to my knowledge. Miguel Estezarren. Oh, he's lost out on a lot of races. So Miguel Estezarren not too close to Will Veronin in the battle in the AM Championship, but nevertheless would not like to be too far back. And I'm pretty sure David Dvorak and Camille Taha made contact. Now David Dvorak back into the pits. Tino Capera also making contact with Chris Rice. Chris Rice up into 13th place now, as Anthony Camacho also moving up into 14th. But so far, not really a terrible start at all. As Abe getting away from Surplus by about 3 seconds already. More than that, I'm pretty sure it's 4 or 5. There's Miguel Estezarren now, making a bigger gap between him and Dries Verhulst, and getting closer now to Will Veronin for 3rd place. He hasn't really participated in many of these races, but still 11th in the championship with a 2nd place and a 10th place as Dries Verhaels comes from China to try and overtake him, and it looks like he might get it done here. They did make a little bit of door-to-door contact. Dries Verhaels is still going to be trying to make a move. Miguel Cesaren has to concede that position, and he's down into 8th now, with also the possibility of Declan Bauer overtaking him quite soon. But Miguel Cesaren will be hoping that Dries Verhaels also makes a impulsive move, or some sort of move that might impede Will Veronin, and then get back going into the battle for 3rd. But so far, Miguel Cesaren losing out 2 positions on the start, and not really finding the groove or the pace that he would like to. But now Dries Verhaels, to Miguel's liking, is back going, and he's going to be catching Will Veronin at the rate of knots, as he can just break way later. As you can see, David Dvorak also coming out of the pits. He's going to be quite some time behind the rest of the pack, as Tino Capera comes into the pits for damages. And Dries Verhaels now going to be right on the tail of Will Veronin. We can maybe even have a quick look on the front splitter. And boy, is he closing in. And just to have enough of that patience in order to not go for a gap that you instantly see is definitely a feature that I'd love to have, as it is very easy to just go for a move and deal with the consequences later. But Dries Verhaels is going to be breaking way later into the chicane and up into 6th place, as he now will hunt down Benjamin Koo and Fabio Gallimini. Behind, though, this has caused Will Veronin to back right up into Miguel Cesaren. And Miguel Cesaren will be loving this, as he can continue the battle for 3rd place without much interference from the pros. Although Camille Tarr is catching very quickly at 36.7, as Miguel Cesaren just goes straight for the move. And nothing that Will Veronin could have done there. A very calculated move, a very clean one should say. Absolutely nothing to complain there. And Miguel Cesaren very nicely up into 3rd place in the AMS. Here comes Camille Taha, though. Started last. Up 7 places now, up into 10th, and only 3/10 away from Declan Bauer. He's running 36.7, which is on par with Charlie Kent, who is in 3rd. So Camille Taha definitely knowing his end goal. He's going to get closer and closer, lap by lap, corner by corner. And though it will slow him down a little bit, I don't think he will really mind. As now, I'm pretty sure he will have the move to the inside. A very common place to overtake people, as Declan Baller gets super close to the back of Will Verrunnen, and he wants to put a car between him and Camille Taha, which would be the best possible way to keep Camille Taha away for as long as possible, as Camille Taha tries to go for the inside. No gap there at all to squeeze into, and Camille Taha has to stay behind for an extra couple of corners and maybe even a lap, since the rest is very, very tight. And if you go offline just a little bit, you run the chance to make a humongous mistake. As Declan Baller, you see, not really defending, as the track is defending for him. Will Verrunnen going very, very wide there, and Declan Baller sneaking on through, but Will Verrunnen still fighting with Camille Taha, and Camille Taha is now going to be slowed right down, which is exactly what Declan Baller would like to see, as Camille Taha goes to the inside into the chicane and promotes himself up into 9th place. But look at the amount of time that he's lost to Declan Baller. He was about 2 tenths away. Now he's nearly a second, so he's lost out 8 tenths on Declan Baller, which is very good news. Ooh, Will Verrunnen making a little bit of a mistake there, going sideways through the final corner. Very easy to do that if you slip on the curbs. But we can go a little bit back, as Chris Rise is fighting with Andrew Priadko for 12th place, or what is 6th place in the AMS. And as we saw, Chris Rise just lost out all of his positions on the start after a little collision there in the first corner. Now trying to do a little bit of a recovery drive here as he goes wide, and that is not going to help him out at all. As again going sideways. That car, with the damage that it has, probably not handling the best. So we can cut to the front, where Declan Baller is yet again getting hunted by Camille Taha from behind, and he goes to the inside. A very possible move here. They do make contact. Oh, Camille Taha pitting. Declan Baller, though, does let him go. So a good show of sportsmanship there, but nevertheless might still get reported. Yes. Now both of them will have some sort of damage, for sure. They will have some sort of damage. Declan Baller might have some rear diffuser damage. Camille Taha might have some front splitter damage. And it will definitely not help them in the final goal, as Camille Taha goes for the inside again, and this time there might not be that much contact, as Camille Taha is going side by side into the chicane. Declan Baller will have the inside line, and he will try and brake later to defend his position. But unfortunately for him, Camille Taha will have the inside for the whole time. A little bit of contact there as Camille Taha comes right back at him and closes the door. And Miguel Cesarin also making a big mistake there. We heard the gravel sound, and he's off the track. So Camille Taha will now be slowed down a little bit by Miguel Cesarin. Oh no! Declan Bowler off the track. Luckily, able to save it out of the wall. But did fall behind Vilverunen. As Chris Rice back at it again to try and overtake Andrew Priatko, though as I say that, a bit of a mistake. Oh, and Windows trying to tell me something again. And again. Windows, I don't want to know. Fabio Gallamini going down into 5th place. It looks like he made a mistake. He was going slowly. Dries Verhulst takes it away from him. Andrew Priatko also making a big mistake. It looks like he's got damage on his front. And falling behind Chris Rice and Anthony Camacho. With 26 minutes to go off this race. Miguel Cesarin still standing in 3rd. Benjamin Koo in 2nd. Not too far away from Fabio Gallamini, as Fabio is making those little mistakes. And Benjamin Koo having a pretty solid race pace of 37.3. And can just chill out a little bit, as this is kind of like the little calm down phase of the race, where most people are gonna, you know, just think about possible tire management or fuel management, or saving their energy, their physical energy. Anthony Camacho now might be under pressure from a lapped car that is a little bit quicker than him. That lapped car is David Dvorak, who is going about a tenth or 2/10 quicker a lap compared to Anthony Camacho. So in these sort of situations, it is hard to yeah, it is really hard just overall, or who gets the right and who doesn't. David Dvorak does want to get a move on, it looks like, but we go back now. Kamil Taha finally passed Miguel Astazaren for 7th as he continues to try and go forward and maybe go for a top 4 finish. And I think top 3 not looking too likely. Astazaren still trying to get closer. As David Dvorak and Andrew Priatko both making contact. Remember, David Dvorak is a back marker, but just a little bit quicker. Just under halfway to go. Cyril Plou, who's out in the background? That's Benjamin Koo, that was, who just completely missed the corner. Cyril Plou, so far, running close pace compared to Abe Santama. 36.5 for Abe. 36.7 was Cyril Plou's time. Now it's a 37.0. Charlie Kent also not too far off in terms of time. Dries Verhulst might not be so lucky to try and get 3rd place. Fabio Gallimini at 37.7. Benjamin Koo obviously last lap making a huge mistake. Astazaren not too far off in terms of trying to get back going, get ahead of Kamil Taha's Declan Bowler. Oh, completely off. And oh, tries to rejoin. And I'm not really sure what's happened. We can maybe have a look at the 1 minute. Go replay. No, I don't want to see that. I want to see Declan Bowler. Far chase cam. Coming towards the hairpin. Everything is fine. Yes, where did he mess up? Did he just go off the track here? Oh, yeah, he dips his car. He's done this before. This time, way bigger consequences as he puts it into the wall. And now we're going to have a lot more damage on that car than he did before. Now we're just under, well, just over 17 minutes to go. Miguel Estazaren's still back going. Miguel Estazaren's still not giving up this battle at all. To Camille Taha, though Camille does have the better race pace. But, yeah, 15 minutes to go. Andrew Piatko closing the gap on Anthony Camacho. The pace definitely there for Andrew Piatko compared to Anthony Camacho. As Andrew Priatko did try and go for a move. And Andrew Priatko, even though he's got that big damage on the Mercedes, nearly said Ferrari, on the Mercedes, still pushing on. Ooh. Having to avoid Anthony Camacho there. Going to the inside. Ooh. Nearly trading paint. As on the inside, he does have the advantage of the bank, but Anthony Camacho not giving up that quickly. As he's going to have the inside and sadly the outside for the next corner, but the inside for the hairpin. Andrew Priatko, though, not letting him have it as he just closes the door. And Anthony Camacho now has to settle for 13th, which is very unfortunate for him, dropping down 2 positions. And also having that collision with Declan, no, it wasn't Declan Vallon, with Chris Fries. Camille Taha also behind Miguel Estezaran and just losing the pace throughout this whole race. There's just not really anything that he can do. That's David Dvorak, yellow flag, he's in the wall. He's hit the wall after the chicane, or even in the chicane. It's Chris Fries now trying to go up into 5th place. And I think I saw somebody say that it was going to be Vilvorunen who's going to be behind Chris Fries in these races. Well, Vilvorunen proving them wrong. As Chris Fries might have a go at catching Vilvorunen, only catching him about 0.3 a lap. Chris Fries now 0.2 away. He's not going to be able to make the move yet. He really did want to. The damage on his car is limiting his potential. But I'm pretty sure he will have him this lap, as he's able to stick right behind him for just so long through the windy bits of Zandvoort. It's very sketchy to be in somebody's washed air. In the windy bits, as you know, you start to lose focus, you start to lose your spatial awareness, and if there's somebody who's crashed in front, both of you are going down. As Chris Fries on the inside of Mohammed Bintang, trying to do it through the long left-hander. Mohamed Bintang not going to let this one go too easily. I don't think he's going to break later into the chicane. He's going to miss the chicane just a little bit, go wide, but he's going to keep the position. Chris Rice, they do make contact around the outside. Chris Rice tries to keep the position, and I think he will, and up into 10th place or 5th in the end. But the final 7 minutes of this race. Not too many, actually, dirty overtakes that we've seen. David Dvorak, yet again, yellow flag. I wonder what's happened. Oh, that's Tino Capera. He was off at the sandy part. There's Bima Aria off the track, Tino Capera off the track. There is Abe Santama also trying to lap them. He is dropping a bit of pace as he's having to lap. And Serpluk might like this. Final 6 minutes is about, what are we saying, 4 laps? If an average time that they're doing right now is like 97 seconds, and 6 minutes in seconds is 360 seconds. And yeah, that last lap, Abe lost 1.5 seconds, 1.6 seconds actually to Serpleur. Alright, Tina Capera after that that mistake that he did, trying to get back past Bima Aria. Tina Capera now on the inside, not gonna go for the move. I was thinking that he... I did think that maybe the late braking off the McLaren would give him the position, but yeah, definitely not happening that far, that much. And there goes Tino Capero, finally trying to make a move, but Bimo Aria keeping it long way around the outside, braking though, not wanting to really keep that position, as he does have Charlie Kent right behind, and if they do collide, Bimara now going to get lapped by Charlie Kent, and 2 more laps to go. Two more laps to go as Abe Santom crosses the line. Might be actually 3. Camille Taha not able to keep on catching Miguel Cesarin, just a lot of mistakes, a lot of inconsistencies, and yeah, he will be too far back to try and make any sort of move. Chris Rise not getting that much closer. Bima Aria in the wall and having to wait quite a long time to get back going. Oh, he's in the wall. And only now can get back onto the track. Though, fortunately for him, I don't think David Dvorak will be catching him anytime soon. And well, the race is gonna nearly end. Gonna very soon end. It's been a very short one, hasn't it? Not too much going on, but not too little going on. Still quite some close battles, like the one with Miguel Cesarin and Camille Taha. And obviously Anthony Camacho and Chris Reiser. That did not end in a favorable way. But nevertheless, we still have a winner, and that winner is gonna be Abe Santoma, though not for the 5th time in a row, is it? Though he does win at his home Grand Prix, and it's actually a 1-2 off Dutch people, with Charlie Kent gonna ruin the all-Dutch podium by putting his British flag on there. Dries Verhulst is Belgian. Okay, I thought he was Dutch for some reason. He finishes in 4th. Fabio Gallimini is going to finish first for the first time in this season. Benjamin Koo going to come across the line to finish in 2nd. That's going to be one of his best races so far. Miguel Cesarin going to finish in 3rd. And Camille Taha in 5th place in the pros after starting in 17th. Will Verinen going to come across the line to just miss out on the podium position. He's going to start. He's going to finish in 9th place. Chris Rise only a second away. He finishes in 10th, not start. And Mohamed Bintang in 11th. Andrew Priadko finishes in 12th. Anton Camacho will finish in 13th. Declan Bauer, fortunately for him, very disappointing race. He finishes in 14th, though not last for the pros. That goes out to Tino Capera, unfortunately. But that is it for the race today. I hope you all enjoyed it. And we will sure be back next week. Is it next week? Yeah, come on, calendar, open up. Okay, my count. Yeah, next week for the final race of the VGTR Sprint season, and maybe, just maybe, some Porsche Cup or M2 races as well. We'll see what we have planned, but nevertheless, if you did enjoy the stream, do be sure to leave a like and subscribe, as it's an easy way and a free way to support us. But if you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all